Hello everyone, welcome back to ESA Winter 2023. My name is huds601 and I am here to run for you what I can only describe as possibly the most cursed run of any classic Sonic game that you're ever going to see. This is Sonic 3 Standalone. This is the first half of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This game has a few bugs in it. It's probably overreaching to say that it's held together by sellotape and dreams. Because it's New Game Plus, we're going to be starting with all of the Chaos Emeralds, so we're going to have Supersonic available to us straight away. And as we go through the run, I'm going to be pointing out all the various bugs and everything. If you're wondering why it's so buggy, it was basically a McDonald's promotion. Sega had to force this game out earlier than they expected, and when they brought out the second half, Sonic and Knuckles, they added in essentially a load of patches. It was one of the first kind of patches for classic games, if you like. Also, huge shout-outs, by the way, to KOR Sonic 3, one of the amazing Korean Sonic runners, who beat my world record in this game 8 hours ago by 12 seconds. So, massive congratulations to him. I'm going to try and get it back, but I'm not particularly hopeful. But anyway, let's get this run underway. 3, 2, 1, go. So, we're going to start off here in Angel Island. Because this is the first half of the game, we're only doing 6 levels. Angel Island, Hydrocity, Marble Garden, Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch Base. And we're going to start off at the very beginning here with our very first bug/continuity error. Knuckles pops out and takes all our emeralds away from us. But we're still going to have the emeralds. So we're going to start off, most of these levels, we're going to be aiming to do one of a couple of things. We're either going to be trying to get to a big ring as fast as possible, or we're going to try and collect 50 rings as fast as possible. Down here there's a big ring. I'm going to transform into Supersonic. You hear this lovely tune that we've got in the background? Yeah, this is a 10-second loop of Supersonic music, and you're going to be hearing it the entire run. So I hope you like it. Get used to it. So we got our first little cutscene here. A couple of other little bugs to keep an eye on. First off, the sprites are incomplete in this for Supersonic. So you may occasionally see that his longer spikes kind of disappear at certain times, especially on springs and things. He will temporarily transform back into normal Sonic at those times. So that's another lovely bug to keep an eye out on. I'm going to come along here. We are currently at the first boss. And one of the joys of being Supersonic is we are basically invincible apart from being able to drown and being crushed. But just like that, that is Angel Island 1 dealt with. So we got a bubble shield here. I'm not going to collect it in the moment. The reason for that is if we have one of the elemental shields, the lightning shield, the bubble shield, or the fire shield, I can't transform into Supersonic. So I'm actually going to avoid this one at the moment because in Angel Island Act 2, we're going to start off straight away with another big ring. Keep an eye out, by the way, when I transform into Supersonic. For a split second, for literally 2 frames, you're going to see a little bit of a palette issue. Supersonic's not going to be looking too good. He's actually going to be black and green temporarily. Yes, another lovely bug in this game. We just picked up a bubble shield. The bubble shield has interesting properties in this game as well. It kind of has, every elemental shield has a passive ability and an active ability. The passive ability of the bubble shield is it prevents you from drowning. That's nice. The active ability is that it gives you a bubble bounce. The problem with that bubble bounce is when you're Supersonic, you can't use the active abilities. Apart from the bubble shield, a little bit of a coding error means that actually we can use the bubble shields after bounce. So normally when you bounce, if you keep hold of the jump button, it does a little bounce like that. For some reason, as Supersonic, we still have access to that. It kind of helps with the routing. It's mainly just a bug. So we can just come along this little auto-scroller here. I'm just going to bounce along the way. Boing, 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 boing. Also, one of the amazing Sonic runners would never forgive me if I didn't go, wow. Thank you, Panto Crowd. So we're just going to go through this auto-scroller section here, just holding right. Now, this is one of the scarier bosses with Supersonic, because the moment we get the 8th hit on the boss, we're going to instantly de-transform, and we lose that increased movement that we get from Supersonic. So I'm going to try and time this correctly, and I need to kind of just keep some momentum to the side here, so that I've got enough momentum to get back to the ledge, avoid the death plane, and then with the bubble shield, I can now do a full bounce, grab the capsule early, and that is Angel Island done and dusted. 1 of 6 finished. Now, as soon as the time bonus is over, I'm going to hit the reset button, immediately get back to the home screen, always save, never ga. And we're going to go back in and straight into Hydrocity Act 1. It's not Hydro City, Arg. It's not. Hydro means bacon, city means skyline. It's Bacon Skyline Zone. Splishy Splashy Fun Time Zone here. We're going to take the bottom route here. We can't take the top route that I normally take in other games like Sonic 3 Air because we don't have Tails with us. Also, you may have noticed the invincibility music is the same as the Supersonic music. So even when I'm not Supersonic, you still can't escape the music in this run. Sorry, not sorry. So we're going to go down here. I need to slow down in a second because otherwise there is a danger. I'm just going to clip straight through the ground. So a little bit of slowing down here. Please don't clip me through. Thank you. Oh, that's always a worry. It's kind of pot luck on that little slope there. There is a chance of genuinely just clipping straight through the floor, and then there goes the glitchless run. Not the first time it would have happened. Anyway, down into the boss. I'm going to try and get some early hits here on the boss. It's a little bit tricky with Supersonic because his movement is unique, let's say. So we've got one hit, that's fine. We'll come up the left side. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Lovely. So one of the things to be aware of in Splishy Splashy Funtime Zone is Supersonic's underwater movement is also a little bit nerfed. He doesn't move correctly underwater. He basically reassumes standard Sonic's movement, which means we don't get the heightened jump and we don't get the extra speed, which does make some of the underwater sections a little more difficult. So Hydro Act 2 here. Now, one of the things they did when they did the Ann Knuckles one is they changed part of this level. That spring at the top got changed to an extra life, and they added some spikes down here. Because we're on standalone, those don't exist. So partially harder, partially easier. Come up the top, through here. What cycle have we got? Ooh, make sure I jump off that so I don't get crushed, because that can randomly crush you. So this one we're going to be trying to get 50 rings. It's fairly lenient on the rings, this level. I'm going to come up the top here, grab these ones. I just need to make sure I don't hit the spikes right now or the enemies. So a little jump. Make use of the insta-shield. Oop. And then we're going to roll the way down here. Now, one of the other things that there's a little bug with when it comes to Supersonic is, there's that lovely music again, is his rolling ability. Sega kind of coded it wrong. What's meant to happen with the momentum-based physics is that when you roll, so I'm just going to do a little glitch, non-glitch. That's not a glitch, by the way. You are allowed to jump over that. There's literally no collision up there. One of the issues with the rolling is they kind of coded it wrong. So rather than gaining momentum when you roll down a hill, you actually lose momentum at the same rate that you are meant to gain it, which makes it somewhat challenging because we effectively cannot use the spin dash as Supersonic. Anytime we do, we instantly just start losing speed and momentum. There are some areas like here, because we've reassumed normal Sonic's momentum underwater where it doesn't affect us, but anywhere above ground it will. And we'll see that a couple more times in the run where it kind of changes things. Down here, I need to wait for the music to cut back in, otherwise I'll soft lock the game. There we go. If I go early on that one, the boss arena won't load properly. It won't stop here. And while I can go straight to the capsule, I can't do anything, and the game will soft lock. So here we've got Robotnik. Again, because we're underwater, we didn't get the benefit of the bigger jump heights. We had to wait for him to come. And oh, look, we finished the level. We are still Supersonic. Another lovely bug. Say hello to Yellow Sonic, everyone. 2 levels in, and a absolute ton of bugs already. We love it. Now, this is one we're not going to skip the cutscene on. It's quicker just to let the cutscene play. And into Marble Garden we go. So this one, there's a big ring fairly early on. I'm not going to get the lightning shield. Again, remember, if we get one of the elemental shields, its active ability will actually prevent us from transforming into Supersonic. And there's a big ring fairly early on. So we're going to take this lovely route over here. Thank you, Subpixels. It is a Sonic game. Of course, subpixels are a thing. We're going to stand over here and do the spin dash. The reason for it is it actually lets us get out into our running animation. If I can stand on top of that invincibility, which I do not want, because again, the invincibility will prevent me from transforming. I'm going to come up here, and now we're just going to take a lovely stroll through the Marble Garden. This level has tripped me up a few times when doing this run. There are a load of blue spinny things everywhere that kind of, you're meant to spin dash into them, and they release platforms that allow you to climb up certain sections. The problem with the blue spinny things is Supersonic especially has a habit of just glitching straight through them. The collision with them is not the best, so if I run into it at full speed, I will just clip straight into it. Again, this is a glitchless run, very much in inverted commas. So you see I took the blue platform there to break open that wall, and yet this one we can just run through. Why? I don't know. Some of them we need this spinning top, others we do not. That's another set we don't. Oh, sorry, another set we do need it. So we're going to come down the bottom here, jump up, and I'm going to try and do a little boss strat here. If I get this right, the boss area won't start properly. because we haven't gone low enough. The boss stays where it is, and I can just get all 6 bounces on it, and that's the boss taken care of. Nice and easy, 1 cycle. Going well so far. So, going into Marble Garden 2, a lot of this is going to be without Supersonic, and this Lightning Shield is going to be vital for a strat I'm going to try. It's a little bit tricky to do, but it skips around about 10 seconds if I get this right. But I need to keep hold of this Lightning Shield. So we're going to use these pulleys to take us up to the top. We're going to go and say hello to Dr. Robert. Give him a little bump on the noggin. Okay. So just run under the grasshopper. We're going to come along here. I'm going to spin dash so I take the top route. I'm going to try and set up here for a little skip. So I'm going to stand here. Yay, nice, right. So that's the first part. Jump onto the grasshopper, hop at the top. That skips a blue spinner. That's around about a 10-15 second time save. So down the bottom, I'm going to jump into this enemy purposely to lose Lightning Shield. Now I can transform into Supersonic. Now we've got our normal, regularly scheduled programming back. I need to not clip through that one again. Although I do need to actually spin on it, because I forgot that Supersonic can't actually make that jump. Do a little skip there, run up the hill. So you see there the sprite turning back? So yeah, we're Supersonic, then we're not. Also need to be careful here not to glitch through the spikes. This one's a tricky one. Just keep right. There we go. Lovely. If you land on those spikes, you will just clip straight through them, and that's run over as well, because not only is it a glitch, but it also puts you on the bottom path, which is horrible in Marble Garden 2. It's the last place that we want to be. So continuing on, little jump off there. Now, in a second, we're going to be coming to a bit of an auto-scroller section where the ground is going to start rising. There is a set of bouncy spikes down there. I am going to do everything in my power to ensure I do not hit them. The reason for it is if I do, and I do it in the wrong way, the game will crash. It's these spikes there. Just always jump over them, never try to take them out, never try to bounce off them. It's just not worth it. So along to the right, this is going to start speeding up the platform. We need to wait for it to get high enough that I can jump up here. I'm going to grab the checkpoint for safety. Bounce on the spring. Don't run into that too fast. Up the top. Oh, just missing the cycle. Come back here. There we go. And another lovely bug in this game. Robotnik's going to come down now. I'm going to get some early hits on him. I need at least 7. The ground is going to fall away. I could get crushed here for literally no reason. The game will decide. Okay, we're safe. Thank goodness. Yeah, the game will genuinely just crush you there for no reason whatsoever, just because it decides to sometimes. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. But that is Marble Garden done. We are already halfway through the game. Now again, it's about 50-50 on whether resetting on this is faster or just doing the cutscene. We're going to do the cutscene. Into night we go. So, Carnival Night Act 1. Going to jump off Tails. I'm going to grab these 3 rings here. We're going to jump straight up here, grab this 10 ring box down the bottom. I'm going to try and get 50 rings nice and early. Jump up here and just hold right. I must not collide with the wheel. If I do, I'm going to enable wheel glitch, and that would be very bad. I'm going to come down here. Grab the fire shield, but transform into Supersonic before the fire shield is active. So I still have that shield. I want it actually for Carnival Night Act 2, but if I'd let it become active, I wouldn't have been able to transform, but turning into Supersonic just makes this level a bit of a breeze. We're going to run down here. Please don't sub-pixel me. Thank goodness. We're good. Along the right, take the top route. Make sure we don't get crushed by the barrel. Up and over. Again, not rolling. Rolling is slower. And then we are into the boss already. Because we're Supersonic, that makes the boss fairly trivial. So this is boss. This is basically stop hitting yourself, the boss part 1. Part 2's in Sonic and Knuckles. So we're just going to bonk him on the noggin, and he's going to hit himself. Because it's one of these kind of bosses, it's actually only 4 hits for this one rather than the usual 6. It's usually 6 hits for the Act 1 bosses, 8 hits for the Act 2 bosses. I'm holding down right now. The reason for it is it moves the screen down. The checkpoint on this particular boss spawns in. So if I hold down, it spawns in lower, and it saves half a second. Also, Tails has just appeared at the top. Remember, this is a solo Sonic run. Tails is not meant to be here. Tails is going to drop down in a second, so we'll all say hi to Tails, but he's going to be Zombie Tails, I'm afraid. He's not going to be joining us for Act 2, so we'll then very quickly say goodbye to Tails. So, hi, Tails. Bye, Tails. We'll just leave him there. He's good. Right, so down here, the reason why I wanted the fire shield is purely for that. Because it makes getting that big ring much easier and makes getting back up here much easier. I'm going to lose it straight away. Transform into Supersonic. You've got 14 seconds of Carnival Night, and we're back to our regularly scheduled 10-second loop of music. Down the bottom. Now, Carnival Night Act 2 here, this is one of the levels where ring count is paramount, and it's really risky. Like, this entire level is slightly anxiety-inducing to run. Not only are we going to be very close to drowning in this section here, but we're going to be very close to running out of rings as well. Not just halfway through, but also at the boss. So I need to try and be as fast as possible. I'm going to grab a couple of extra rings there. So down we go. I'm actually going to grab this bubble just for safety. We don't want any problems here. So up and over the top. Okay. There is a little trick you can do there to use the left-hand side to get past both barrels. It's incredibly tight, and I've been crushed there on more than one occasion. Whoops, just got some balloons there. Oh, we're just going to make this cycle lovely. So you see we're on 13, 12 rings, 11, 10. This is going to be really tight, but thankfully up here, we've got 3 rings here. We've got a few more here. We should be absolutely fine. Going to bring this one down, just break it. And grab that one as well. So run up the top. I'm going to forget the rings up the top there. We can get them as safety, but I believe I'm okay on rings. I'm sure we'll find out if I'm going to regret that in a second. So we're going to come along to the right here, and everyone's favourite. You all remember it. You all love it. Say hello to the Barrel of Doom. Barrel of Doom. We're just going to jump under it, because that's much easier. Down to the side here. Late jump onto the other side. Back to the left. So we'll just wait for these to move out the way, off to the right-hand side, and now we're just going to hold right all the way. And we're going to pop down here and say hello to our... Oh, boy Knuckles! Hey, Knux! And back up we go. We've got plenty of rings, thankfully. We've been really good on the ring count for this one. So the boss is going to come in. I'm going to try and get the jump right here. If I do, I can basically what's called juggle the boss. Come here. There we go. Right. Third try. So we can just juggle on the boss if we get that jump right and get rid of him really quick. And that is Carnival Night done. We have 2 levels, 4 acts to go. And we're going to be going to Ice Cap next. And I'm going to be trying for a little trick that's another fun glitch, not glitch. So we're going to reset out of that one. So into Zone 5. So there are 10 extra secret rings on the snowboarding section. I need to do a little jump on exactly 10 seconds to get them. And if I do, we can transform into Supersonic early and it's going to glitch out. Oh, it might be late. Oh, it's late. No, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's really tight, that jump. But if you do get it, you can transform earlier than the game expects, and Sonic Sprite for a couple of seconds goes really glitchy and just blech. It also means you get Supersonic for this section, which does save a few seconds, so a bit of a shame, but one of those things. I'm going to go here instead for safety, grab this big ring, and now we're Supersonic again. So this level's fairly linear. It's also one of my favorites as a child. Sadly, we don't get to listen to Hard Times during this, which is an absolute banger of a tune. We're going to come here. I'm going to spin dash. Don't get crushed by them. That's always very bad. Come along to the right here. So a lot of this level is just optimizing the movement for Sonic, knowing which jumps you can make, which ones you can't. Try not to bounce on things too much, because if you bounce on things, you usually hit the ceilings. And obviously avoid getting crushed. Right, little left tap there just so I don't hit that. Just a small jump over, onto the spring, to the right, back to the left. Take it back now, y'all. And then we're just going to stand here. Now, fun fact, if I look up or look down and move the camera, we will actually camera wrap or screen wrap, which is a glitch. So I'm not allowed to do that. As I said, this game is very well designed. It's held together brilliantly. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to spin dash. I'm going to jump so I go back into my running animation, because otherwise I will lose all my momentum by the time I hit that swinging platform, and it won't actually go where I need to. I'm going to jump over that one, though. Hold right to the end. Little jump up here. And up to the boss. You can juggle this boss if you want. Honestly, it's just easier to jump into him 6 times if I actually do it correctly. There we go. Ice Cap 1 done. 3 to go. Okay, now Ice Cap 2. Believe it or not, there's another bug. If you're meant to take top route here, it's the fastest. The problem is that there's meant to be there's meant to be a trampoline or a bungee that you can use. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist. They forgot to put it there. So you have to take bottom route first. Get a big jump up here, and then we can go back left and rejoin the top route. The benefit of doing that, though, is it actually gives us our 50 rings nice and early. I'm going to actually go all the way up the top and use the spring, because that will give me enough momentum on the way down to make sure I can get up here to the top route. Onto this spring. Use the lightning shield to jump over. And then I'm going to purposely lose it here so I can transform into Supersonic. So this first one, there's 3 sections. First one, we're going to jump over it. This second one, this is what I mean about the momentum. Not touching anything, and he slows down. Not helpful at all. So we need to actually spin dash to get up to the second section. And then we're going to come down to the third. And again, I'm going to immediately jump out of this one just so I can regain my momentum. Hold right. Possibility of getting crushed here. Hopefully I won't if I can time this jump correctly. There we go, lovely. Through both of those. And now onto the boss. And we'll get into his hitbox. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lovely. One level, 2 acts to go. We're not going to be resetting here because the trigger for the next level is just on our right. We're just going to spin dash into it. And then we're going to be in launch base. Launch base is really kind to us because in both acts, there is a big ring right at the very beginning. So we're going to hold right here. Little jump up. And we're going to come straight down. Please don't crush me. Ooh, okay. Straight into here. There you go. You got 8 seconds of launch base. Now we're back to our lovely loop of music again. So, gonna head right into this lift. Now, this is actually one of the levels where we are going to lose all of our rings by the time we get to the boss. That's actually on purpose. Because for this particular boss, the insta-shield is best. Although it does allow me to tell you about yet another bug with the game, which is the insta-shield bug. So there's a fun thing with the Insta-Shield. So the Insta-Shield is one of Sonic's normal kind of active abilities when he's normal Sonic. And not only does it expand your hitbox so you can hit things that are further away, and it kind of protects Sonic, it also gives you temporary iframes. I can't remember the exact number of frames that it gives you, but it essentially means that you become invulnerable for a set number of frames, which is really good for getting through bits like, you know, fire and other stuff. The issue with it is every time you jump, you're supposed to be able to use the Insta-Shield once. But in this game, if you land on the ground while the Insta-Shield is still active, the game doesn't recognize that you have landed. So the next time you jump and try to use the Insta-Shield, it thinks you've already used it and thus won't give it to you. Which is a really bad thing if you're trying to, you know, hit an enemy or avoid getting hit yourself. So we need to be a little bit careful of that. So at this boss, what you're going to actually see me do is between every hit, I'm going to jump again. And the reason for that is just to potentially clear any incorrect flag on the Insta-Shield. Because otherwise it's going to be a disaster. So you can see we've lost all our rings here on the Knuckles cutscene. That's fine. There's actually 3 rings just coming up by this signpost. I usually spin dash into that, but I'm not going to in case I miss them because then I'll probably die and it'll be embarrassing. So this is Twin Hammer. He's going to come down. So I'm going to do a hit, and then you can see I'm just clearing it every time just to make sure. So far we've been okay, but if he comes too low, it will actually push us back to the floor with enough momentum that Insta-Shield will stay active. So here's an example of it, by the way. So the Insta-Shield, if I now jump, nothing. That's what it does to you. So that's launch base 1. We have one more level to go, and this one is one of the hardest. Ring count is absolutely paramount. It is very tight. That's a straight jump. Thank you. This one's really tricky to do. We're going to collect a couple of big rings, but if I do all of this right, we will probably finish with only about 3 rings left. And on top of that, I need to one-cycle the final boss. If I do, we get our final fun little bug / glitch. So we're going to come along here, grab this lever, big jump all the way over the top, lovely. Roll through here. Grab some extra rings for safety. Okay. Right, we're going to jump over this one. Be careful not to glitch through the floor here. Whew, okay, that's good. Going to take the top route. So down to the right here, there's going to be another big ring. We essentially need to have 100 rings in a second. As long as we do, we should be okay. I'm probably still going to get some backup rings just in case. So to the left-hand side here, we're going to grab another 10 rings. Oh, got hit by the enemy. Big jump. No! Oh, just making it. Whew. That was tight. Okay, I'm going to grab some extra rings here just for safety, I think, if I get the jump right. Okay, I got 2 extra rings. Grab these 3. And then we're just going to jump over here and just land in the boss. Again, glitchless. Completely glitchless. You're not supposed to be able to do this, but it's fine. Okay, 91 rings into the Eggmobile. This is going to be tight, but I think we'll be okay as long as I don't mess anything up. Famous last words. Also, everyone say it with me. Our boy Knuckles is going to fall. Oh no. And now this is just a bit where we get to relax and dance. Loving the clapping, Panda. Honestly, this music does not bother me anymore. Okay, hardest strat in the game. I'm going to stand right here. No hands. Look at that. First part of the boss done. That's the hard boss. Now the easy boss. No. So now we're going to be taking on Big Arms. We have 30 rings left. We really want to get this right. So we're going to get 2 hits. He's going to come in from the right initially. Avoid the big grabby arms. Bonk him on his noggin. He's going to come in from the left. 20 rings. I feel like I'm on Crystal Maze right now. 15 rings. Right. He's going to be in the ceiling. Oh, no. Oh, too early. Okay, I'm going to detransform. And I'm going to grab a ring for safety. Okay, that's a shame. We're not going to get to see the absolute final bug. I'm really sorry. Went a little bit too early on the jump. But we'll see. Ooh, hello. We'll see if we can get some extra hits in the floor here. So what would normally happen is that I would try to get 4 hits with him while he's on the ceiling, get a 5th hit when he comes down, plus the other 2 we got earlier makes for 7, and then get the final hit while he's in the ground. That is a 1 cycle, and as a result, it creates one final bug in the game, which is as we descend, we haven't actually gone up far enough in the game. So as we descend, we actually descend into the water, and because of the watercolor, it changes the palette for the final supersonic scene, and he ends up changing color into sonic.exe. It's very, very cursed. I'm really sorry. We got the jump wrong in it, so we're not going to see that today, but that is Sonic 3, Sonic New Game Plus Glitchless. Time is going to be coming up very shortly when the screen flashes white. As we see the Death Egg fall. And time. Thank you all very, very much. So yeah, that is Sonic 3 standalone New Game Plus Sonic Glitchless. It's an absolutely wonderful run to do. It's just got so many bugs. It really highlights the state that Sega put this particular game out in. And honestly, it is genuinely best played with Sonic and Knuckles, so it fixes all of these problems. Firstly, huge thanks to Ben in Sweden, who sadly can't be here, even though he's in Sweden, for basically being the reason that I actually started running this category. He basically dared me to claim another irrelevant world record. Although we all know what happened with that. Yeah, 8 hours ago I lost it. So that means it's not irrelevant anymore, right? Also, massive thanks to the Only Kid, who when I first started running this, they really encouraged me to kind of stick with the category in the early days and keep going at it and rooting it. Big shout as well to the SSC and especially the classic Sonic Speedrun community. It's a really exciting place there right now. We've got a whole brand new generation of runners that are disassembling these games, making their own practice ROMs, and basically rewriting the rulebook in terms of what we thought was actually possible with these classics. The work they are doing is incredible. They're grinding hard, and we really appreciate everything they're doing to raise the profile of it. So thank you to all of them. Massive shout out to all the folks at Club 601. Thank you all for the continued support. I'm fairly certain a few of you probably muttered skill issue to yourself at the end there with Big Arm, so thanks. But honestly, I love you all. Please never change. And if you enjoyed this and you want to see more of this, firstly, I'm going to be over on Stream 1 on Friday, my final run doing Sonic 3D and 2D, which is an unbelievably hard game, and this Muppet here is going to be commentating it. And if you want to see more of this in general, come follow me over at huds601 on Twitch. It'd be lovely to see you. Pop up in chat, so do come and say hi. But other than that, we're going to continue on with this wonderful marathon. We will see you all very shortly.